Welcome to Your Business, Your Life with Matt Francesco, your personal financial technician. Whether you've had years of success in your business or just starting out, High Lift Financial can help you create a vision for your business, life, and family, and align these for generational wealth. So as they say, what happens in your life affects your business. And now, on to the show. Well, hello and welcome to Your Business, Your Life with Matt Francesco here. And this has been 2 years waiting for me to have this guest on. And I'm just really jacked up to have him. He's one of my favorite people in the industry. We'll call him the man, the myth, and the country music legend. Dave Luehr. So, hey, Dave's got 3 decades of experience in that. He's the founder of Dave Luehr's Elite Body Shop Solutions, helping shop owners to basically build and increase their business, which is what all of us are all about. He's a keynote speaker, spoken at many conferences. I've heard Dave speak many, many times. To me, it's always one of the best sessions when he's there and presenting. I just really love what he does, especially the idea of the entrepreneurial spirit. And he works with independent shops, and that's what as everybody knows from the podcast, that's my passion. I don't think anybody can serve, and this is in any industry, can serve customers better than an independent family-owned shop. So he's also got a book called The Secrets of America's Greatest Body Shops, which is great. I mean, I've handed that out to a number of clients of mine. So I'm just really jacked up to have you here. So, hey, Dave, welcome to Your Business, Your Life.
Thank you. That's quite an introduction.
You like that?
Yeah,
I said,
not bad.
Yeah.
2 years. I thought you didn't like me, Matt, and but here we
Hey,
are.
somebody said somebody wasn't getting my emails or whatever reason. I've been trying to get you on for a long time here. So,
Oh, okay. I am really honored. I've known you for a while, and
yeah.
those were some very kind words. I appreciate, and I appreciate what you and your organization do for people in our independent repair community. It's much needed.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that. And it's like I said, I'm really just passionate about the independent shop. And one thing that makes me sad is I think there's so much push out there for, sell to a third party, consolidation, all that.
Mm,
And, we were chatting about this beforehand. I equate, in my town, we've got a Home Depot and a Lowe's. And then I got Bentley Hardware, 4th generation, 75 years. I go there, one, I want to support locally, but two, I get personalized service. I mean, I was having a
yeah.
plumbing problem, okay? And I just went in there, and there's a guy who actually meets me at the door and says, "Hey, how can I help you?" Oh, it's like I've got, the radiator's been not kicking heat up. I need to do. He's walking me through. Here, you need this tool, you need that,
Mm,
and you don't get that kind of service, I think, from the big box places. And so that's why I'm
yeah.
excited about what you're doing too, because it's really about let's help these independent shops to thrive and to be able to pass them on to the next generation.
Oh yeah, I love that, and we love working with generational businesses. They're special. It's like it takes family dysfunction to the next level, but it's good dysfunction. There's nothing like a good like Sicilian family fight.
That's exactly right.
Because they love each other.
Uh-huh.
They love each other, and it's that love that can potentially drive great performance. Right? It's yeah,
True.
we've got a lot to talk about, but I love that whole subject
Yeah.
because we I live in Nolensville, Tennessee,
Hmm.
and I hope they're not listening, but I went to the local coffee shop because, like you, Matt, I want to support the local businesses.
Right.
Right, I'm passionate about that. Right,
Hmm.
I've owned my own local body shop, and so I go there and I get crappy service and a lukewarm cup of coffee.
Hmm.
Right, and I thought, I could have just gone to the Starbucks, which is only 1 mile further up Nolensville Road,
Right.
right? So it was disappointing to me. So, you know, people have a right to open a business, but they don't have the right to be successful, right? They have to put in the work. They have
Yeah.
to outperform the Starbucks of the world as auto body shops or little coffee shops
Right.
right, and that's a problem. So they have to understand that, yeah, they deserve to hang a shingle, but it takes a lot of hard work to be able to outcompete these guys. But right now, right, and we'll talk more about this,
Hmm.
right now is such a huge opportunity for the Mama Javas of the world to completely outperform the big consolidators.
Right. And that's what I want to talk about because I think, last year was a tough year for a lot of collision shops.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of them that are and they come to me too, like I'm burned out. But I think I see so much potential that's there. So I wanted to kind of get your feedback on what you're seeing out there.
Yeah,
And then maybe some ways that these shop owners need to start thinking to be
yeah.
able to be able to progress the company.
Well, if it's okay,
Yeah,
let me go back a few years
sure.
and just explain why I'm so passionate about this. Because
Perfect.
I started out like I think you would agree, a majority of small businesses are started by technicians,
Correct.
right? And it's not just auto body repair work. It's somebody that opens a bakery. It's they're great at a craft, and they believe because they're great at a craft, they can own or run a business that
Yeah.
does that craft.
Yes.
Yeah, I fell into that in 1989. I started my first auto body repair shop. I was mad at my boss. I was
Mhm.
a car painter, a really good car painter. I'd already been in the business a few years. I told this guy to, kiss my you know what, and I took $100 bill and I put it into a bank account, and I had my DeVelbus paint gun,
Oh,
DeVelbus
wow.
JGA paint gun. That's when the cups were on the bottom
Right.
where it belongs, right?
Yep.
And and that's how I started. And I got a generous landlord to give me a two-car shack rent free for the first month,
Oh, wow. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So now I'm in business. I was super excited about this. 2 years later, right? I'm running a business with 13 employees.
Mm.
I'm doing over $1 million a year. And that was a fair amount of money back in those days,
Right.
right? And so it seems really impressive on the surface,
Mhm.
right? But what I didn't tell you was it cost me about 1.1 million to do that million. And
Yeah.
so the truth was is I was deep in debt, my relationships were in trouble, and I was entering some of the darkest days of my life
Mhm.
simply because I didn't understand the basics of running a business,
Okay. Yeah. I
right?
get it. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was great at painting cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
No problem with that, right?
Right.
And apparently I had a knack for marketing because I managed to fill the shop up, but it
Right.
seemed like the busier I got, the broker I got.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a mentor of mine says it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you keep.
Yeah. So I had a mentor too, and his name was Dave Williams.
Mhm.
And I'm running my little shop in Salem, Oregon. And Dave would come and mentor me. He would drive from Portland, Oregon, down to Salem once or twice a month, just to teach my sorry butt how to run a business,
Right.
right? And Dave was actually the chief financial officer of Hannah Car Wash International, the world's largest car wash manufacturer. This
Okay.
guy went on to own a string of banks, and he was a business professor at a popular business college. I didn't go to college.
Mhm.
I barely made it through high
You're
school.
right.
But here I am, and I've got one of this amazing mentor come down, and one day he told me, he says, Dave, I know that you want to be wealthy one of these days. And I said, but I hate math. That's what I always tell him. I was lousy at math in school.
Right.
He says, okay, I want you to think of math as money, because if you don't learn the basic math of running a business, you will never be wealthy.
Mhm.
I said, okay, well, I will learn math then.
Right.
And that was when my whole attitude towards running a business changed. And this man helped me so much, just completely so generous with his time and his knowledge. He didn't charge anything for
Oh,
this.
wow. Okay.
This was a free service that he provided, and I couldn't. I get emotional thinking about it, how
Yeah.
much this man helped me. And I said, Dave, I don't know how I'm ever going to repay you for this. And he said, someday you'll do the same for others,
Yeah. Is that
right?
what spurred you on to start Elite Body
I
Shop
don't
Solutions? That's
Yeah, I
great.
don't think I'd be here today if it wasn't for that.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? And having a mentor or a mentor or a coach is so important. Like I've been fortunate in my life. I've had a number of mentors, and I've been working with my current coach for 15 years, and I thank him every time because,
Yeah.
you know, we can't do it alone. And sometimes we need another set of eyes that's telling us, hey, you're messing this up,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's so cool about what you guys do.
Yeah. So our business, right? Fast forward all these years, I'm got tired of the auto body business for a few years. Decided I'd try to be a country music
You're right.
entertainer. Yeah, not a lot of money in that, as it turns out, Matt.
Yep,
Uh,
yep.
so so then I'm running a 5 store like MSO here in Middle Tennessee, very successful one.
Mhm.
It was a great job. And if you've read the Secrets of America's Greatest Body Shops, you know how this story goes, right?
Right.
It's you know big consolidator. Abra came in from up north
Mhm.
and took over all 5 locations on a Friday, and by Monday morning we were Abra.
Yeah.
And this was the beginning of this huge curve, right, of consolidation. That's about, in fact, that was Abra's biggest acquisition up to that point in history,
Oh,
and
really? Okay.
that was in 2000 uh, and no, excuse me, 2012 it was.
Right, okay.
Yeah, 2012 is when that happened, and so and the interesting thing is everybody was really concerned about this consolidation thing and having all these big corporate players move into their neighborhood. And um and I was panicked too. I like, what are these independents going to do? How are they going to compete? They're competing for all this DRP work and insurance contracts.
Yeah.
And these guys, every time they open up a new store, they're on every direct repair program. I'm like, how are we supposed to compete with that? Right.
Right.
But then I started to notice in these same markets where people were complaining about consolidation and really being the victims of society, right? There was also somebody in that same town, they were grinning about it,
Yeah.
right? They're happy about it. They're like, keep buying up all my competition because I'm killing it right now. And these are what we call outliers.
Mhm.
And so what and that's really what the Secrets of America's Greatest Body Shops was about. It's about the study of outliers, what people are doing in the face of consolidation, in the face of all the other challenges that we face, and they just keep growing and getting stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we said, I think, that's what's important for the independent shop because, my take, as I talk to owners, and I argue with some of the M&A people in the business about this, but they're like, no, they just want to, they really want to get out, but they think that's their only option. But when
Mm,
you start to show them other possibilities and how they can thrive, all of a sudden things kind of change. And even what's really interesting, and I find this has happened a number of times where I'll talk to an owner. He says, well, my kids aren't interested in the business. And then
mhm.
as we start developing them and the business becomes less dependent on them, they become more of an owner instead of an operator. The kids are kind of like, well, I like the cash flow here. And if I don't have to spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week, it becomes much more appealing.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
So yeah, and sometimes it's the kids, but sometimes a good exit strategy might involve the employees that are
Right.
working, right? And that's another very viable exit strategy for people that are getting towards retirement age. But
Yeah.
I'm also seeing some, which is this is really encouraging. I'm seeing a lot of younger owner operators coming into the business right now.
Yeah.
And most people say, "Ah, don't do it. You don't know what you're getting yourself into."
Right.
But with a little bit of guidance, these people are killing it.
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. They want to have something of themselves. I mean, that's, I remember this was a number of years ago, but the American dream was always to own your own home.
Mhm.
Okay. The American dream now is to own your own business.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. It's
makes
pretty
sense.
crazy. It's pretty crazy. And I think that's where young people Or really, they wanna be able to control their time, that, they wanna be able to control their income. They don't wanna be at the mercy of an employer that can say, "Oh, guess what? We're downsizing and you're out."
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
so they want that control there, and I think it's exciting, and that's where ideally, like, I'm really trying to get to a lot of these younger shop owners who are not necessarily looking at exiting, but
Mhm.
need owner-based planning to figure out where the end game is gonna be, and then how do we build value in the business, all right,
Mm.
and create generational wealth for their families utilizing the business, whether it's, the next generation, it just keeps generating cash flow, or, however we wanna do that.
Yeah. I think what attracts the young people, I think it attracts anybody, right?
Mhm.
And I can't remember who said this, but we talk about this a lot. There's four entrepreneurial freedoms. It's the
Mhm.
four things that people seek in life, right? And the first is freedom of time, right? To be able to
Right,
spend my time how I want to, and time is the most precious thing that we have. It's
right,
finite, right? Once a moment's gone, it's gone forever.
right.
Never get it back, right? Then the freedom of money or financial freedom,
Mhm.
right? People want that. They don't want somebody to oppress them and say, you can only make this much. So
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, you have the ability, right? Or opportunity, I should say, to make as much as you want, right? And then, of course, freedom of relationships is another one. I want to spend my time with whom I want to spend it with.
Right.
And then finally is the freedom of purpose, right? You know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the very tippy top is this human desire for ascension. It's
Yes.
part of our DNA to want to grow, to share our God-given gifts with the world,
Right.
and that's something that whether a young person or an older person, they really want to do that. And the irony of it is, right? In my first experience as an entrepreneur, I didn't have any time. I didn't have any money, right? My relationships were a shamble, and I certainly wasn't living out my purpose.
But you weren't an entrepreneur at that time, you were actually a business owner, and there's a
Yeah,
difference. Robert Kiyosaki talks about the 4 quadrants where, you're an employee, you're a business owner, you're an investor, and then you're an entrepreneur, and,
yeah.
how many business owners think they're entrepreneurs, but they basically just bought themselves a job?
They just own a job. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's exactly right. So my team and I are on a mission every single day to help people find those four freedoms,
Right.
and we do it through teaching so sometimes very basic business skills,
Yeah.
right? But also to offer some inspiration and to talk about and open their eyes, their awareness towards the opportunities when everybody else in the industry is only seeing challenges and the scarcity mindset.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So, I wanna kinda get back to my original question and then kinda lead that in. So,
yeah.
we talked about last year was a rough year for shop owners.
Mm,
So, what are the things that you're helping shops to do to kind of overcome that? Because like I
yeah.
said, a lot of the ones I was talking to, they just have, and I'm not an operations guy, so I can't really
Mm.
help them in that area. So, that's why I'm kinda interested to pick your brain on that.
Oh yeah, no, I could talk about this all day.
Alright, I'm
Uh,
sure.
so what happened in 2025, is just, and this in the financial services, right? Uncertainty.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty that creates. People don't want to let go of their money. They don't want to travel as much, right?
Right,
We have a hard time, even filling our some of our in-person events last year as a result of that, right?
right.
And then who really hates uncertainty is insurance companies,
Yes.
right? So premiums are going up, deductibles are higher than we've ever seen.
Right.
We've got shops regularly seeing $2,000, $2,500 deductibles,
Yeah, wow.
right? And then total losses. Total
Mhm.
losses are representing between 20 and 25% of repairable, non-repairable vehicles, right? Which is insane. So more cars are totaling, more people are, but the thing is people are still scraping up their cars.
Yeah.
They're just not turning them into insurance.
Ah, okay, right.
Okay.
Interesting, yeah.
So a lot of shops, especially the ones that are what we call very DRP dependent,
Mhm.
don't really know how to deal with this. All they know is insurance claims are down,
Okay.
right? Business is down, right? So what, people in like my mastermind groups do a little bit different is we say, okay, if the market's going to change, we're not going to sit around and wait for it to come back to whatever it was before, because I hate to tell you, that ain't going to happen, right?
Right.
So we need to adjust and very quickly to the new market needs, and that's how do we attract customer pay work?
Mhm.
Because that damage is still out there. We're just not, we don't know how to market as an industry to attract this kind of work. But
Right.
there's a lot of it out there. So we started working with my friend Ryan Taylor from Body Shop Booster. He
Mhm.
has tools, and we started talking to our friends at Tractable, which is a leading AI estimating organization. So we're figuring out how do we go out and reach the customers so they can easily get an estimate on their vehicle, determine about how much the damage is going to be, so they can make a wise decision whether to turn that into insurance or not. So we
Right.
we, we started working with Ryan Taylor on this thing we're calling, I don't know who came up with the term, but a claim avoidance program. We
I
go,
like that.
that we go and we market this to agents, because agents are getting bombarded with calls saying, look, I just scraped the side of my car. I've got a $2,000 deductible. Do I turn it in or not? What's the
Yeah.
agent supposed to say?
You're right.
I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
Go out and get three estimates.
Yeah.
Right. Or, right, if Matt had been in there 2 days prior with his new claim avoidance program,
Mhm.
right? Now the agent goes, hey, I'm going to send you a link to your phone real quick. Take a couple pictures for me. And within 90 seconds, you will have an approximate estimate, right? And
Mhm.
then that would immediately link them to the body shop, you see,
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
right? So we can begin that relationship and help. And so what we're trying to do is not necessarily write an accurate appraisal
Mhm.
using AI. That day may come, but at least we're able to triage that vehicle early on. And I'm
Interesting.
telling you, the first party that gets the image wins. The
Ah.
insurance company gets the image first, they can steer it the way they want it to, right?
Right.
Body shop can get the first image, they can start to build the relationship and educate that customer on the next best steps.
That's great.
This
That's
is
great.
huge opportunity right now.
Oh, I would agree. And it's funny, in our collision cocktail hour, we talk a lot about that, about, you've got to manage the customer relationship. You can't allow the insurance company to do that. And it always struck me how novel that was.
Mm.
I tell the group, I said, yeah, especially as I'm kind of learning the way they're thinking, I'm like, man, you guys are as messed up as us financial advisors in the head. I mean, we got this scarcity mentality, and we've got, it's oh my gosh, I can't lose this customer because
Yeah.
there's only so many that are out there, and it's really not that way.
Yeah, it's so easy to get freaked out when business slows down, and we're all guilty of that, even me, but you have to pause and go, okay, I'm dealing with a little bit of a scarcity mindset right now,
Yeah.
right? The natural inclination is to bail, to play it safe, right?
Right.
But the shops that I witnessed last year, right, and even through COVID was tough too, right?
Oh yeah. Right.
Right? But the shops, the thing about, I'm so proud to be a part of this industry. Everybody's so tough. They're resilient. You can't kill
Yeah.
us, right?
Exactly.
But but there's a next level above resilience that I noticed in 2025. Right? Resilient means I survived, right?
Hmm.
Evolved is the next level. Evolved
Yeah.
means not only did you make it through, but you actually invested in yourself and your business, and you became stronger,
Yeah. Oh,
right? I
yeah,
use
I like
I
that.
use
Yeah.
I use the analogy, and I've got a fancy word for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Sigma morphogenesis.
Oh boy. Okay.
Come on, say it back to me, Matt.
Thingamorphogenesis, something
That's
like that.
actually pretty good,
That's
dude.
not bad.
So that is a scientific term for a phenomena where trees, like and plants in like I have a tree right outside the window here, right?
Right.
And it's in a really windy part of our property,
Hmm.
and so it's exposed to all of Mother Nature's fury.
Okay.
When we planted this thing 10 years ago, it was a little twig. And I would see this thing from my office window, like getting blown clear over like that. And my wife's like, we need to stake that tree. And I go,
Hmm.
I got a feeling about this little fella. Let's not stake it.
Yeah.
Right. So here it is exposed to all of Mother Nature's fury. Today, I look out proudly at my little tree and it looks like this. It's got
Yeah.
a huge trunk on it.
Uh-huh.
Right. And this thing's probably got roots so deep. So think of
Right.
like that mighty oak tree on the hillside is a great way to think about what some of the shops we witnessed last year were able to do. They
Right.
didn't just survive, actually got stronger.
Yeah. That
Right.
makes
Nashville had a huge ice storm here, and
right.
we had probably 100,000 trees down in my city,
Oh, wow.
but not my little weeping cherry.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and we do. I mean, we have to, what's the old saying? How is a diamond made? It's basically a rock that's under pressure and fire,
Mm,
you
yeah.
know? And I think, we have to go through that too. And that's what sets the successful shop owners or successful business owners over the non-successful ones. You go through that fire, and you
Mhm.
and you can't avoid it. There's
Yeah.
there's no way to avoid it. I mean, if you try to avoid it, you'll lose. So
Yeah.
I can see how that's just even that process in nature is really it's inherent to us too. Yeah. So we talked that and again, especially with the independent shops and how we want to see them thrive. I want to talk a little bit about because that's as you know that's kind of my passion. I want to help these owners take their business, how it all ties into their life, and then create a plan,
Yeah.
not just for the business but for their overall life in general. Because that's why the
Yeah.
title of this podcast is your business, your life. Is because
Yeah.
they are intertwined. So I want you to talk a little bit about the importance of the independent shop and then also how like having a good plan in place can help you to ensure not just a successful exit for you but creating like generational wealth for future generations.
Yeah. And I'm kind of preaching to the choir here with you a
Yeah.
little bit, Matt, but we, you know, uh, very, very few shops that we go into have any kind of plan past maybe a year.
Right.
If that the plan is just make it through this week, please.
Yes. Right.
Right. I just want to
No way
make
to
it through this.
live, no way to live, baby.
It's oh my god, it's so stressful, and you can just feel the stress in these businesses when you go in there,
Mhm.
and it's funny as much as we teach like operational strategies and ways to improve throughput and teaching the big business skills that they need, we spend an equal amount of time just helping them get their lives back.
Yeah.
If you're a member of one of our mastermind groups, for example,
Mhm.
first thing you get in the mail is a goal setting binder from us,
Great.
right? So we sit down with them and we coach them. Okay, here's what we want to accomplish this year. And then we break it down into intermediate goals. We teach them time management skills. We even have our own patented daily task lists. And
I
our
have
people,
that, yeah.
you have one of these?
Yeah, I
They
got one of those at one of the conferences.
they work,
Yeah.
right? Because all I want them to do is spend if they could just budget a few minutes a day, right? When we're first starting to work with them, just give me 30 minutes today, right? Close your door and work on one, two, or three things that are working on the business instead of in it,
Right.
right? Give me
Exactly.
just give me one, two, or three things that you're going to commit to today
Mhm.
to work on the business. That's the only way to get out of this doom loop,
Right.
right? And once you do this enough, pretty soon you're spending half of your time working on the business instead of in it. But you have to start somewhere.
Right.
And it's through very practical time management skills that
Mhm.
I learned so many years ago. And it all began, and I told you about my original business, what a nightmare that was. One day, remember the pyramid scheme? They would come and sell you term life insurance.
Right, right, yeah.
Who was it? I can't remember the name of this company.
Primerica.
Yeah, that's what they're called now. It was something else
Oh, was
back
it
then.
before that? I thought Primerica it had been that for a number
Oh,
of
it was
years.
it was even before that. They
Oh,
had, yeah.
wow, okay.
Yeah, so I'm taking you back a few years. So this kid comes in, right? And I'm just a kid. I'm in my
Uh-huh.
early 20s, and this kid comes in, even more of a kid than I was, and he's trying to sell me term life insurance. And I'm like, man, dude, I'm way too busy to talk to you right now. I was probably painting cars and writing an estimate and everything that a lot of body shop owners go through.
Yep, yep.
And he says, I have a gift for you, he said.
Mm,
Come out to my car, and I said, okay, I'm gonna walk out to your car. This better be good.
yeah.
So I get out there, and he reaches in his trunk, and he had a whole box full of books. And
Oh,
the book that he gave me was called The 7 Habits of Highly
highly
Effective
effective
People.
people. I know.
And that's when I became a Covey fanatic. I
Mhm.
read that book, and there was a Franklin Covey store in Portland, Oregon. I drove straight up there and got me a day
The
planner.
day planner. I have boxes
Yeah,
of them. Yeah.
yeah. And I listened to all the books on tape
Mhm.
and that they had available, and I just became a time management fanatic.
Right.
And over the years, I've just developed my own system that we teach body shops. But that's how you get your life back, guys. I mean,
Exactly.
anybody listening to this, I literally would not be here on this podcast with you today, Matt, if it
Mhm.
wasn't for this system,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
This system is literally what makes your dreams come true,
Mhm. Right. You're
right?
exactly right. Yep. And it's interesting you bring up Covey because I always talk about this. What's the first habit? Begin with the end in mind. And it's amazing. Like, I was telling you about the client of mine up in Minnesota, and
Mhm.
young guy, started body shop like 6 years ago. But we started working through, he's like, I know I need help. So we started working through and we developed this personal vision. And in
Yeah,
10 years, he wants to have, he wants the shops to be worth $10 million.
yeah.
Okay. And I said, and your new identity is going to be what? And he's going to be a professional hobbyist. But the beauty of that is, so now we've got the end, so we can begin there because now he gets up every morning excited because he's looking at something.
Yeah,
It's not a dark tunnel and the light that's coming through it is a train.
yeah. Dude, that's so important.
Mhm.
And that's when we have a program called the Accelerator Program,
Right.
right, where we go in and help shops that want to like really get things moving fast, like 90 days, we guarantee incredible results.
Wow.
So this is a vision exercise that we do with them.
Hmm.
And we also do this with our mastermind members. So when we teach them how to set goals, begin with the end in mind is the first thing we talk about. And
Right.
we have some prompts that they fill out, right? And then we take all this information and we feed it into AI, and we help start to craft these really amazing vision statements, and it becomes the North Star of the business,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right? It guides our decisions.
That's it.
It gets us excited when we're feeling down. It aligns the team towards a common vision. And
Yeah.
it sounds like some big corporate stupid thing, but it's not.
No, no, it's not at all. As a matter of fact, my coach, so he's really big on the first hour of the day. And
Yeah, me
so
too.
claim the first hour of the day. And he said, the part of your morning ritual or that morning power hour should be asking yourself the question, who do I need to become to achieve this goal? Not what do I need to do, but who do I need to become?
Yeah.
And I started doing this, and it's a powerful experience. Now it's funny. First time I was doing it, first couple of weeks, I mean, it was like I'm not getting anything. But what's funny is the subconscious mind starts thinking about it, starts working on it, and all of a sudden, it's like I'll be sitting there, and like an idea pops into my head. I get in my journal, I write it down,
Yeah.
and then and it's really learning not so much about what we have to do. We all know what we have to do, but
Mm,
who do we need to become? How do we need to change up here and in here?
yeah. That's something you hear us commonly say at Elite is you can't grow your business past the level that you grow yourself as the leader.
Exactly.
And that's why we spend so much. We started out as a just totally operational. Hire us, we'll come in and we'll make you a playbook, teach you how to do
Yeah.
blueprinting, right? And but we spent an extraordinary amount of time talking about personal development.
It's critical. I mean, I talked to all of my clients about this. Like, you want to get to this end game, you've got to become a different person,
Hmm.
and it scares some people. It scares some people, but
It's
I've been a person.
not for everybody.
Exactly. I've been a personal development junkie for 30 years. So it's like, I mean, if you saw behind this screen, I mean, just stacks. And those are the ones I have out. I have boxes up
Me too. This is the
Think
first
and Grow.
personal
That's
development book I was ever. It's in a plastic bag because I
that.
do take it and share it at speeches, but this is the original one.
Uh
It's
huh.
falling apart. The pages are
That's, that's exactly how mine looks. Yeah.
but it's Think and Grow Rich. And this
Yep.
was the original like personal development book that a
Mhm.
mentor gave to me, and it taught me so many of the principles I use this day and teach to this day.
Right.
And I feel like so many other personal development books are just like slight alterations of that book that was written so many years ago.
That and Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yep, that's one. My team and I are going through a book club right now with reading that book.
Yeah, like I said, I read it 30 years ago, and it's something I think every shop owner needs to apply, because what they don't realize, they're technicians, but you've also got to be salespeople and influencers too, because
Hmm.
you've got a customer that's coming into your shop. It's a traumatic thing. I mean, when you lose your vehicle, think about it. I mean, we rely on our vehicles for everything. Okay.
For
And
sure.
so they've gone through this traumatic experience, even if they didn't get hurt. And how does the shop owner nurture them, that to help them, to influence them to do the right things,
Mm,
right? And I
yeah,
see
I
that's
love that.
something. I was funny. I remember I talked to I was talking to this was a topic that was coming up about how to deal with customers and read people. And my coach offers a course on that I've taken, called Mastering the Art of People. And
Okay.
I said, hey, I'll throw this out. I'll do it for you guys. If anybody's interested, send me an email.
Okay.
I got one email.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
You could say I've got the key to the riches right here, and people, if it has to do with personal development, then they're like, I just need to work on these cars harder.
That's exactly, or it's, and even in any industry, in my industry, it's like, I just got to make more phone calls. I got to talk to more people. It's like, no, you got to work on up here,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's so good, and even books like Never Split the Difference, another
Yeah.
great read. I'm reading through that, and I'm thinking, okay, this reminds me of Dale Carnegie. Okay, this reminds me of Dale Carnegie.
Yeah. They're all like that. So it's man, I could go on and on. We went way over my time, so and I want to respect your time too. But at some point, Dave, we need to get together and do this some more, because I think the messages that you have for these shop owners, I think more and more need to hear this. Okay,
Yeah,
there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not the oncoming train. It's a bright future. It really is. And so I want to give you a chance. We're going to put all of your contact information in the show notes, but I want to give you a chance, just any final thoughts that you might want to leave the audience.
yeah. Just like you just said, Matt, right now, and I've said this before, that it's the greatest time in history to be in the collision repair industry. And people look at me like, well, you're crazy. But if you have the right mindset, it truly is. And you don't have to do it alone. There's all sorts of resources out there to help get you what you need, right? And just set big, scary goals for yourself,
Yeah.
right? Something that inspires you, create a vision, that North Star, and go for it, man, because you've everything that you need will be made available to you along the journey.
Yes. It's amazing how the subconscious mind, and Napoleon Hill talks about that, the subconscious mind will start working on it. You set the
Mhm.
goal, and then start doing your thing. Your subconscious mind, if you're reading that every day, your subconscious mind will start giving you the answers.
Yeah, Absolutely, Matt.
It,
I'm really honored to be here, and I hope we do get another chance to do this.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It's been a blast here. Thank you, Dave, for being on. Last thanks goes out to you, the audience. Thank you for listening to Your Business, Your Life with me, Matt Francesco. If you've not subscribed to the podcast, please click the subscribe button below. That way, when a new episode comes out, it'll drop right onto your device. And no matter how you're listening to us, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, if you like what you're hearing and you like hearing more from guests like Dave, please give us a 5-star review. That way, we can move up the charts and get more of this great content to people. So, again, Dave, thank you so much for being on, and hopefully, we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
No problem. All right. Take care. God bless. Hey, I really want to thank you for listening to the Your Business, Your Life podcast. If you want to be notified when new episodes become available, click the subscribe button below.
All information is obtained from sources deemed reliable but not guaranteed. No tax or legal advice is given nor intended. Content provided herein or on our website should not be construed as an offer for investment advice or for securities, insurance, or other investment products. Investments involve the risk of loss and are not guaranteed. Consult a qualified legal, tax, accounting, or financial professional before implementing any investments or strategy discussed here. High Lift Financial is a DBA for DeFrancesco Financial Concierge, LLC. Investment advisory services are provided through Cornerstone Planning Group, LLC, an independent advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.